Oh, there you are. I've been looking everywhere for you, Messiah. If only you humans didn't all look the same.
Is there something you want, Bowden?
I came to deliver this to you. The last of the proceeds from all that treasure you found in the deep roads. It seems your friend Varric found a buyer after all, yes? Quite well done.
I recall Varric saying there would be more.
There was, in fact, but your mother took some for the mansion. Before I go, may I simply say how grateful I am that you've allowed my boy to stay in your home. I said I would repay you for saving Sandel's life, and I shall serve you faithfully. It is good to know he is safe.
I assume he'll pitch in, just like you.
Of course. I'll keep a close eye on him so his enchantments don't do any damage. I promise you that. I'll leave you to your adventures. Your mother asks that you return to the mansion when you have a chance.
You can't miss the keep. It practically screams nothing fun ever happens here.
Sorry?
You know, when you stick your hand into people.
Oh, that. Yes, it's, talent.
You could make so much coin with that.
Greetings, citizen.
You should do something about your locks. They're remarkably easy to pick.
Isabella? Welcome to our new home. Our own mansion. Who's your cool puppy?
You've settled in nicely.
I deserve it.
Indeed. Still, more coin never hurts, right? Say, if someone wanted to pass some work your way...
Aveline. This is one thing that that does irritate me. That Emmerich brought this evidence, and they are still not wanting to believe that it's connected, that there's some insane madman going around kidnapping and killing women to, do what he does later. No, it can't be connected. It can't be.
Things are busy, Aveline. What's your point?
Yes, good. Use that tone on him and get him out of my hair. Remember Emmerich, the Templar? He wants your help and some sort of official sanction.
Official sanction?
For his investigation. He's convinced that every random murder in the past few years is connected, and he won't be quiet.
Notice how she said that. He's convinced that every random murder in the past few years is connected.
You don't think it's worth investigating?
I have. He even convinced one of my lieutenants to raid the Dupuis mansion. Nothing there. You wouldn't believe how much ass I had to kiss after that. Bloody hobbyist constable. Why can't he spend his declining years building a boat or something?
Because he knows the truth and you won't see it, although you're just tired of having to then do the whole, we are sorry we broke into your mansion and turns out nothing was wrong, we apologize. And of course this is, I'm sure you could think of real life equivalents of this if, police were to investigate a claim of a serial killer or whatever, break into someone's house that they believe is linked to it, finds out there's nothing there, and then they have to apologize to the homeowner or such. I understand that. I'm not, I totally understand that from a real life standpoint. But considering what you find out later, yeah, like I said, Hawk is not going to forget this, and she's not going to let Aveline off the hook for it later.
Seems like it should be easy to prove if there are bodies.
Kirkwall isn't the safest place. That doesn't mean everything terrible is related. If you're going to be picky, the common thread in most of the trouble is you.
What can I do that you can't?
Well, I would never say as much, but... well, he keeps asking for you. Maybe just showing up will calm him down. He's in the gallows. If it leads somewhere real, I'll take it off your plate. Anything to shut him up.
Yeah, it gets real once, Mother gets taken. Just saying.
It's strange living here again. My childhood home. Now owned by my child. It's not something I could have imagined when I was a little girl staring out this window. I'm still grateful you used your money from the expedition to buy back the estate. I feel like an Amel again.
It's been 3 years. Move on already.
You have so many new duties to keep you busy, and I'm just sitting idle. But I am doing better. I visited Bethany at the Circle, and she seems happy enough. I guess I just need to start picking you out a suitable husband.
What? That's what Hawk does the moment she hears it. She's like, what? I'm sorry, a what? It's like, excuse me? I would prefer to be the one to choose that, and I have my eye on a certain elf, just saying.
I've been wondering if I shouldn't remarry. I'm sure the last thing you need is your mother watching over your shoulder every time you come home. But perhaps there is still life once your children have outgrown you.
No one is going to take Father's place.
Malcolm was the love of my life, the father of my children. No one can ever fill his spot in my heart. That doesn't mean I don't deserve some company in my dotage. Seneschal Bran has a son about your age.
No. Just no.
I like the doggy. Ruff, ruff, ruff.
It looks like they're having a nice chat. Maybe Sandal picked up some Mabari speak from our time at the Hero of Ferelden's camp.
Because that dog would never shut up. Quite a few letters. Night terrors. Greetings. I hope this letter finds you well. I've often thought about you in these past 3 years. Without your kindness, my Fenrir would have been long since sold to slavers. Instead, he has thrived and begun to master his magic. But now his nightmares have caught up with him, and neither the Keeper nor the First Enchanter know how to help. I don't know where else to turn. Please, come to my home in the alienage. I will be waiting to speak with you. Thank you again for the compassion that you have shown Fenrir in the past. Sincerely yours, Ariani. To Hawk. It's been years and the Circle has yet to find a way to help me. I've seen the way the Templars look at me. I know they want me to undergo the rite of tranquility. If something doesn't change soon, they will force it upon me. I try to keep myself under control, but it's difficult. Excuse me. The nightmares are coming more frequently. They seem so real. I can't help thinking that the Dalish would have had an answer for this. Fenrir. Feeling inadequate? Flag flying at half-mast? Does your soldier not stand to attention? Does your dwarf shy away from the deep roads? Come to Jorman's Apothecary and ask for our special sauce. Our special sauce is infused with the essences of 52 herbs. It's completely natural, completely safe, and absolutely effective. You will never feel the same again. Be the man other men want to be. She's not a man, she's a woman. Messer Hawk, words aren't enough to convey how grateful I am. Thank you for saving my daughter from that monster. When I look at my little girl, I'm reminded of what you did for my family. Leah has found a hero in you. She's become interested in swordplay and in combat. and she speaks of joining the guard one day. She seems none the worse for the wear. In your debt, Elrin. Dear Sir or Madam, I am Lord Akim Falk of Starkhaven. I have faith in the Maker and Andraste, his beloved prophet, that I must bring this matter of urgent business to you. Years ago, I served the office of Seneschal to the royal family of Starkhaven. Sadly, there have been ousted by a foul usurper. I represent His Royal Highness, Prince Corbinian Vale, the true heir to the throne, and with your help, Maker willing, we will see him wear the crown of Starkhaven once more. His Highness had a fortune of 11,000 sovereigns locked away in the vaults of the Royal Bank of Antiva. With access to this fortune, he can raise an army to retake the throne. But it is too dangerous for His Highness to simply withdraw the funds himself. This is where we require your assistance and discretion. Simply send me the details of an open bank account in Kirkwall, and I will arrange that the funds are transferred to you. My king will then contact you to retrieve his fortune, leaving you with a hefty award. I must warn you, the Antivans will not consider the account viable and if it contains less than 100 sovereigns. Please observe the utmost confidentiality. Yours, Lord Akim Falk. Lothering. Hawk, heard you got to the Free Marches. Don't know why you'd bother, but I suppose it's better than Orlais. They got spiders up there? Big ones? Couldn't swing a dead cat round here without hitting a giant spider, but the blight drove him off. Maker. Dark days ahead. Mark my words, a man can't even cover his blighted land with poisonous traps. Old Barlin. Gamlin Amel. Payment is now 2 months late, sirrah. Interest accrues, as you are well aware. You will find yourself barred from our establishment unless payment is made. Think, no better card sharp, or numbers runner in Kirkwall will deal with you. I certainly hope this matter is attended to before steps are taken. Let us avoid further unpleasantness. Gallard. Dearest Leandra, I hope you and the children are holding up. I'm so sorry about Carver. I remember the dear boy helping me trap rats in the cellar. The blight has taken too much from us. Thank the Maker for the hero Ferelden and the Grey Wardens. Things are slowly getting back to normal in most parts of the country, but Lothering is gone for good. We had hoped to rebuild there, but the blight poisoned the land. It'll take decades for the earth to recover. It may never. Redcliffe is a nice place, and I'm starting to see it as a home. The village saw some trouble during the blight, but it's recovering. Perhaps you could visit sometime. Please write me again, my dear. I wish to hear about your life in Kirkwall. Send my regrets and fond regards to the children. Your friend, Miriam. Dear sister, I hope this letter finds you well. My time in the circle has been bearable, even after the Templars made a point of putting me through the harrowing as soon as I arrived. They thought that I was at risk of possession or running away like father. Glad it's over with. I've started mentoring apprentices. I enjoy time with the children, teaching them basic spells. One of them, Ella, has taken a shine to me. Adorable. Life's not perfect here, mind you. The Templars are mostly polite, and I know they're just doing their jobs. But some hold extreme views. There's one creep named Sir Ulrich who likes harassing mages. But I'll steer clear of him. I'm doing fine. Please don't worry about me. With love, Bethany. Ooh. I think that's the outfit that Aveline is supposed to wear in this act. Now as guard captain. We'll examine this stuff in a bit. Actually, let's just go ahead and do that now.
Is that... Isabella? Who carves that into a stairwell? Ah, this statue. Wait, where did I get this statue? Sorry, I was expecting treasure, not spiders. Get well soon, love Isabella. Why do I let her drag me into these things? Fenris said Daenerys left this at the mansion. Leather to feather. Crossroads of form. I don't even know where to start. That's Mother's room. I shouldn't intrude. Handprints? Was someone swinging on the chandelier? Sandal. Nice view. I see the Arenbergs have made up. So much has happened since we got here. I'm glad I've got it all written down. Poor Prince. I told him to stay off the bed. I think I'll let Sandal empty that. Isabella seemed disappointed that she didn't find anything worth gossiping about. Snoop. Never thought I'd have my own family crest.
You've had luck on your travels? A letter arrived for you. It's on the desk. That's where I'll put messages which come while you're out.
Oh, that dog. Well, maybe chew marks add character to the piece.
There it is. That's what she's supposed to be wearing. She had one of those before. Yeah, that was it. There we go. That's what she's supposed to wear. The Guard Captain. Proves with level up. Wonderful.
So the Seneschal's tax collector won't be coming around again like you asked. Funny story.
I'll pass, but thank you for the help.
Spoil sport. Why you want to squat up here in Hightown is beyond me.
I like the view.
So do I.
Back off, Isabella.
3 years. There's still no sign of Denarius. I'm beginning to wonder if he's finally given up.
This is his mansion, isn't it? He must know you're here.
Would you be surprised to learn that it isn't, in fact, his mansion? It belongs to a Tevinter merchant, one who has evidently given up on the place. Perhaps he is dead. Perhaps Denarius killed him. Either way, if Denarius is aware of my presence, he has done nothing.
Then this is the perfect time to track him down.
I'm not so certain. Tell me, what do you do when you stop running?
What does anyone do? You start over.
I don't know how. My first memory is receiving these markings. The lyrium being branded into my flesh. The agony wiped away everything. Whatever life I had before I became a slave, it's lost. I shouldn't trouble you with this. My problems are not yours.
You don't know who you were?
Fenris was the name Denarius bestowed upon me, his little wolf. If I once had another name or a family, then they were taken from me. But again, this is not your concern.
I might be able to help with your problems. Or give you a few more.
Only a few.
Or a lot.
Tempting. You're a beautiful woman, Hawk. Is there no one else who has your attention?
I didn't quite catch that first part.
I don't need to repeat the obvious, I'm certain. I'm an escaped slave and an elf living in a borrowed mansion. None of those things bother you.
Why do you think that would bother me?
You are not most people, clearly. You raise an interesting point. I'll have to consider it. Last bottle of the Egregio. I've been saving it for a special occasion.
And what's that?
The anniversary of my escape. Astia Vala Firmundis. Care to hear the story?
I thought you avoided talking about this.
Not on special occasions.
I enjoy listening to you talk.
There are few pleasures greater than speaking with a beautiful woman. Let's see. You've heard of Saharan? The Imperium and the Qunari have fought over the island for centuries now. I was there with Daenerys during a Qunari attack. I managed to get him to a ship, but there was no room for a slave. I was left behind. I barely got out of the city alive.
You escaped only by chance.
That time, yes. There are rebels in the Saharan jungles called Fog Warriors. They found me and took me in, nursed me back to health. I stayed with them for a time, until Daenerys finally came for me.
Whether you wanted to go or not, I assume.
I'd grown fond of the rebels. They bowed to no master and fought for their freedom. It was beyond my experience. When Daenerys came, they refused to let him take me. He ordered me to kill them. So I did. I killed them all.
You gave up.
It felt inevitable. My master had returned and this fantasy life was over. But once it was done, I looked down at their bodies. I felt I couldn't. I ran and never looked back.
Didn't Daenerys stop you?
The rebels had wounded him. The soldiers he brought attempted to capture me, unsuccessfully. It was weeks before Daenerys was able to mount the hunt in earnest, but by then, I was already gone.
Couldn't you have found other Fog Warriors? Become a rebel?
Even if I did, I felt unworthy. I had no way of knowing if I could truly escape from Daenerys then. I didn't even know what that meant. I simply had to get away. I stowed aboard a ship to the mainland and moved south, chased by my former master every step of the way.
I have to wonder why you stayed with Daenerys as long as you did.
You have not been a slave. A slave does not dream of freedom or wonder at possibilities. You think only of your master's desires and what the next hour will bring. It did not occur to me that I could be anything else until I had a taste of it.
But there are stories of slaves rebelling all the time. They did in Kirkwall.
The ritual that gave me my markings also stripped me of my memory. Whatever I was before may as well have never been. Perhaps if I knew, I might have felt differently.
How well did you know these Fog Warriors?
I knew them only a few months, but in that time, I felt as if I truly lived. They were bold, strong, free with their affections. I was in awe of them and owed them everything. And I turned on them even so.
I don't see why you didn't kill him right there.
I wasn't running from him. Not at first. I've never spoken about what happened to anyone. I've never wanted to. Perhaps this is what it means to have a friend.
It might mean more than that.
I have never allowed anyone too close. When my markings were created, the pain was extraordinary, and the memory lingers. But you are unlike any woman I have ever met. With you, it might be different.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
If there was someone before, I have no memory of it.
There was no one after you escaped, even?
I stayed nowhere for long. Who would I trust? I didn't think I needed anyone, or wanted anyone, until now.
We could find out.
On another evening, perhaps. A last toast, then. To the fallen. I remain at your side.
Let's go ahead and head to other places to do some more talking. Let's go with the Hanged Man. We can talk to both Varric and Isabella.
Still marinating your insides.
Have to keep old age at bay somehow. Do you remember the relic I told you about? The one I need to find? I've been following a lead. I'm so close I can taste it.
You're wasting your time. Castillon probably doesn't care anymore.
I retrieved it. It would be mine if not for those rotten storms. Look, I know how you feel about this, but it's important to me, and I'm going to need your help when the time comes. Just promise me you'll consider it.
If it means that much to you, you have my support.
Thanks. I appreciate it. If I learn anything new, you'll be the first to hear about it. Thank you.
Very high friendship now.
Just tell me if you hear more rumblings from the coterie about protection. Blondie's got enough trouble. Let me ask you something, Hawk. You made it into Hightown. I'd expect anyone else to get complacent, but you must have plans.
I'd make a good noble, don't you think?
If anyone could handle a life of sitting on their butt all day eating bonbons, Hawk, it's you. To be honest, I thought there might be a chance you'd want to go back to Ferelden now that things have calmed down. It's good to hear you're sticking around.
Nothing's been set in stone.
You're keeping your options open? That's unusually rational for you, Hawk. So, we've got a whole city-state full of trouble to get into. Shall we get started?
Isabella, my dusky goddess. You have buried yourself in the flesh of my heart like a worm in a red, red apple. You heartworm, you.
Oh, look, my friend is here. Excuse me.
But I haven't gotten to the part where I invite you to feast upon my tender white flesh.
Oh, dear lord.
That's all right. I think I'll manage. Speaking of romance, you and Fenris, eh? That taut, controlled body, the brooding demeanor and intense gaze. I hear he still wears the shackles from his life in bondage under his clothes. You know what they say about men like that, don't you?
I haven't seen any shackles. You're just making things up.
Oh, but I had this joke lined up. Fun.
Oh, come on, Isabella.
So we...
Thank you.
Nothing but his...
There we go. Apparently it has a bit of a cooldown.
But he doesn't care. He was naked. Just there.
If you want a drink.
Why do you always win at cards?
Because I cheat, kitten. This trinket, it's elven, isn't it? From your clan. Don't bet anything you're not prepared to lose. Here, have it back. A jigger of your finest whiskey for my friend over here. The Hanged Man's finest isn't much, but it'll get you just as drunk as anything you'll find in Hightown.
I don't need a drink.
Oh, well, more for me then. I thought I'd have to watch myself around you, but as it turns out, you're all right.
What do you mean I'm all right?
You don't judge people. You're not afraid to get your hands dirty. You know, little things like that. If I had someone like you on board my ship when the storm hit, maybe we wouldn't have been shipwrecked.
Thinking about what might have been is pointless.
You're right, of course. Forget the past, celebrate the present.
Were you listening to that guy?
Thank you.
Last night.
Your eyes are like bumblebees flying into the window of my soul.
My favorite was, your lips are like the wings of sparrows. Red ones, with no feathers.
Oh, speak, and send the plucked wings of your lips soaring.
I'd buy the guy a drink, but I don't think he needs one.
Like I said, the banter with Isabella and Varric is wonderful. Almost there.
I'm bored of this. We should do something fun.
This is the best tavern in Kirkwall. It could use some cute dwarven serving girls, but otherwise, it's perfect.
Roderick.
We have a few drinks.
Anyone knows Karen? He was naked. Done
Just
anything
airing
wrong?
things out.
You know Isabella, don't you? Do you think I should compare to a
Thank you.
bacon biscuit or a lonely outcrop?
I once knew a sailor like you. We lost him in a hurricane. Very sad.
Still have a couple more people to go talk to, obviously. Meryl and Vengeance. By the way, just as a reminder, when it comes to the friendship rivalry thing, keep in mind that if you go a path, you get a certain bonus. His friendship, of course, is magic resistance, while his rivalry one is critical damage. As for Varric, which it looks like we're already going to be having a rivalry, his friendship one is extra attack speed and dodge chance, but his rivalry is stealth chance when Varric takes damage. So, and as for Isabella, if you have friendship, she gets more attack speed for both you and Hawk. Or, I'm sorry, for both you and Isabella. And if you are rival, then she has more dodge chance. So, you get a benefit for having rivalry. It's not like rivalry is all bad, as I've been trying to point out here.
Thank
That
you.
there actually is, like, you know, a benefit that you're going to be able to get if you decide to pursue rivalry.
It's the best feeling in the world.
It's not recommended.
Notice that now he has an actual shop here, which he did not before. Once we helped him in Act 1. Now he does. Ooh.
Thank you. I'm bored of this. We should do something fun.
Alright, so now we'll go to Meryl's house and talk to Meryl.
Have you heard from your sister? Is she settling in all right with the circle?
Mm-hmm.
I thought you and Bethany didn't get along. Why are you worrying over her?
I'd be terrified in her shoes. Surrounded by strangers. Watched all the time. We didn't always agree, but she's a sweet girl. I would never wish that fate on anyone.
I haven't heard from her.
I'm sure she's fine. She's strong. If anyone can get through this, she can. Don't blame yourself.
I know it's not my fault. It's the Templars who hold her away.
She'll find her way. Things will be all right. somehow.
By the dread wolf! Why is my house always such a mess when people are here? It's clean sometimes, I swear.
Notice she has the mirror here now. We, of course, will follow up on that later.
And that will, stop the itch.
Yes. Though I would stay away from women you meet in the port. Pirates tend to dock in unsavory places.
I heard that.
Just use the salve if it comes back.
Excuse me.
Things just keep getting worse. I had Templars practically on my doorstep the other night.
The Templars are hunting you.
Not me specifically. They were just checking the refugee camps. But it's not like this place is a secret. It's only a matter of time.
Do you have something you need?
Sorry, I thought you might have come by to talk. People do that, you know. The Templars have become more active in their hunt for me. I won't be able to stay here long.
You got so sassy there. Alright. Sebastian's the only one left. Though this time when we go talk to him, we're not just going to be like, hey, let's talk. We're actually going to do his quest and have an actual follow-up to what happened 3 years ago.
Going to have to do some shopping pretty soon.
Stay away from me.
Don't like dark tan? Die and make room.
Wow. Just wow.
So
We're
I
here to
think
serve the
You keep staring at me. Is it my eyes again?
You're very lanky for an elf. I like lanky.
From what I gather, you like a lot of things.
Nonsense. But when I see something I like, I go after it.
Do you intend to go after me, then?
Will you take off all that spiky armor you're wearing?
It's been known to happen.
Then forget it.
Heh.
Do nations...
Forgive me, Your Grace.
It is not enough to ask forgiveness for a sin you committed in full knowledge. The Maker blessed us with minds and a conscience. He does not approve when we fail to use them.
I'm sorry.
I'm not the one you wronged. Your grandparents would be so proud of you. When I was a girl, the Amels were one of our most prominent families. I'm glad to have one of their line in the estate again. How can I help you?
What is the Chantry's stance on the Kunari presence here?
Would it help anything for us to get involved? Or is it more likely to light the kindling? If the Kunari act against us, the Templars will defend Kirkwall. Otherwise, we guard ourselves best by waiting.
Yeah, Elthena's part of the problem for why things really get bad here, and, well, let's just say we see more of this. Oh, it's okay, the Templars will take care of things. We'll see this in more people in the Chantry when we get to Inquisition.
How long have you been Grand Cleric?
I became a lay sister here when I was only a girl. My parents died of fever, and I was taken in by the Chantry. Eventually, I took my vows. After I had served for some time, the revered mothers agreed that I should travel to Orlais. The Divine herself appointed me Grand Cleric of Kirkwall. That was near 30 years ago.
You knew my grandparents?
I dedicated your mother into the Chantry. She was a beautiful baby. Your grandmother was a very proper lady, but she was beside herself that day. And your mother put a fist in my eye.
Are you intending to stay neutral about the Canarian mages forever?
The Maker's time is not men's time. We do not need to rush.
I'll have to remember that line the next time I'm late.
The Chantry is not a domineering father with the whip always in hand. She is a gentle mother who knows her children learn best when allowed to learn themselves.
I thought it would end here. That young lady, Hawk, she decimated Flint Company. No survivors. Yet, now that I know who sent them, it's harder to see their deaths as justice.
Death is never justice.
Oh my gosh, Althena.
Hawk, we were just talking about you.
Is the Flint Company bothering you again?
Hawk asked aggressively.
You know, I hate it when you do that.
Hawk muttered in an angry aside to the dwarf. If you two have a moment, I've learned who hired Flint Company. The Harrimans, a noble family of Kirkwall. They were my parents' allies. It's hard to believe they betrayed us like this.
Did Lord Harriman die violently? About 3 years ago.
I won't ask how you know that.
I had heard he was murdered. His daughter took over the family, Lady Johanne Harriman. They say she's become quite reclusive of late.
Any idea why they turned on you?
Money? Power? It's hard to say. Lady Harriman was always jealous of my family for being royalty when hers were mere nobility. But I can't imagine that pushing her into outright murder.
They should pay for their crimes.
Unless I understand why they did this, any revenge I take will be hollow. I must speak with Lady Harriman and find out what drove her to this madness. But I am the last of my line. I should not go alone and make myself a target.
Fine. But don't think you're my top priority.
Thank you, Hawk. Having you by my side will stay anyone's hand. If you like, I can travel with you until you confront Lady Harriman. Otherwise, you can always find me here in the Chantry.
So yeah, now we get Sebastian as a companion. So, I'm gonna go ahead and make this change. For the moment.
Blessed are...
I cannot fault Sebastian for wanting to know why an old ally would turn against his parents. But I fear he's too impetuous. He may do something he regrets. Please, go with him, try to restrain him. If the Harrimans are guilty, they will receive justice from the Viscount. Sebastian need not take their punishment into his own hands.
Just get out of my way.
You disapprove of me. You think I should send the Templars against the Canary, perhaps? Destroy the mages, or set them free? There are many strong opinions in this city, child. It is not my place to decide who is right. The Chantry is not a domineering father with the whip always in hand. She is a gentle mother who knows.
So I've heard that this is a... there's an exploit here you can take advantage of if you want to work on Sebastian's, say, rivalry. Which, if you're friendship with him, you get damage resistance. If it's rivalry, he gets health regen. Alright, I'll sort that out later. Let's test this. So let's once again see that it's right here, alright?
How can I help?
I can't tell if it moved. I heard there was a thing where you can just, if you have him in the party and you can just keep telling her you're useless, he'll just keep getting more and more rivalry. And I was like, oh, wow, really?
Hello. How can I help?
But maybe not. I don't think it's moving, so I don't know. Alright, anyways, I'll decide whether or not I want to stick with this as my party or not, but I think when we come back, we'll probably just go ahead and, maybe we'll just go ahead and do his quest to see what happened here before we move on with other stuff. We, of course, also have to go around and do other things, plus there are some things that can pop up if we have people in the party for other quests, so yeah. We'll see. The plan will be to go do Sebastian's quest, but something else could pop up. So stay tuned.